Part 160. Heaven Swallowing Record. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1601. Wu Yu and Wu Jun naturally did not know the plans of the 5 demon emperors. Now they have become low-key in the demon god realm and continue to search for the corpse of the emperor demon in the demon god realm. This time they have gained something. Wu Yu held the 2 pendants made of bronze gates in his hands. Once the 2 pendants reacted, they knew that there was a corpse of the emperor demon nearby. However, several times, they managed to reach deep in the void crack. Only extremely small parts such as claws and hair were found everywhere. Although it was very small, Wu Yu also devoured it, which could improve his Tao understanding and cultivation level. Of course, the improvement effect of such small parts on Wu Yu was almost negligible, so they could only continue to search. During this period of time, the entire demon god realm seemed to have forgotten about them, and there was no news about them at all. It's a bit strange. The boundless star sea has obviously seen us and has a certain understanding of us, but why has it suddenly disappeared? Moreover, it seems that it has not attracted the attention of the 5 demon emperors. Wu Yu was a little confused. This calm situation is too ordinary, and it really doesn't look like what it was like after being discovered by the boundless sea of stars. The most important thing is that the peace of the demon god realm has lasted for nearly 1,000 years after they encountered the boundless sea of stars. During this period of time, they did not find any demon emperor issuing a wanted order to arrest them. The news about the immortals coming to the demon god realm has not spread at all in the demon god realm, and I don't know what the specific situation is. I don't know, but this way, we can move more easily, which is better than being wanted by the entire demon god realm. Wu Jun smiled. Although he was also confused, he didn't pay too much attention. Even if he encountered the demon emperor, he was confident that he could escape. As for a fierce battle, it is of course impossible to happen. Even if they only encounter one demon emperor, they would not dare to fight if they encounter one. If there are other demon emperors nearby to help, it will be a little troublesome to run away. The 2 of them continued to search in the demon god realm, while the others entered the floating life tower to rest and practice. After so many years, they have also made some improvements. Another 100 years have passed, thousands of years have passed since the appearance of the boundless sea of stars, and there is no news about the wanted immortal in the world of demons and gods. Wu Yu and Wu Jun finally felt at this moment that the pendant made of the bronze gate finally reacted again. The 2 looked at each other, and then followed the reaction. After passing through a void, they broke through many ancient remnant formations. It took them about a few years to reach a secluded place that was rarely visited by people. Sure enough, they found it. A piece of emperor demon flesh and blood, exuding a frightening aura, floats in mid-air. Although this flesh and blood cannot be compared with the head of the world-destroying infant demon, I have finally gained something, which should make me improve a lot. Wu Yu finally smiled when he saw this piece of emperor demon flesh and blood. After 1,000 years of searching, nothing wasted. But just when he was about to step forward and devour the emperor demon's flesh and blood, Wu Jun's expression suddenly changed. The situation is not right. There seems to be an immortal formation here. Wu Jun reacted and wanted to remind Wu Yu, but it was too late for him to react. A terrifying Taixu immortal formation rose from the space and instantly trapped the 2 of them in the space. The rising Taixu immortal formation is a top-notch Taixu immortal formation. It is dozens of times more powerful than the previous ancient demonic dragon sky-devouring Wuji formation. Once it appears, it will envelope the world with unparalleled pressure. On Wu Yu and Wu Jun. They actually used this piece of emperor demon flesh and blood as bait. It seems that it was the 5 demon emperors who took action, but I don't know if they all took action. Wu Yu was trapped in the siege of the immortal formation and reacted immediately. His face became a little solemn. Fortunately, this Taixu immortal formation did not attack them directly, but only trapped them in it. Immediately afterwards, one after another, huge and terrifying existences appeared directly from the surrounding void. The first one was an eternal golden mountain, followed by the endless sea of Netherworld, and then the eternal world tree also appeared in another direction. In the end, the supreme lava beast and the Uranus superstar also appeared in the final direction, blocking the direction in which they fled. The ones who appeared were 5 demon emperors. They used their bodies to travel through the void and arrived at the trap they had set. As expected, they saw 2 immortals trapped in the trap. The 5 demon emperors suddenly knew that the thousands of years of forbearance and ambush were all worth it. However, they were not particularly excited. After all, they had all lived for too long and had relatively cold temperaments. Among the 5 demon emperors, the endless demon emperor was the initiator, so he was the first to speak after he appeared. "Don't get me wrong, 2 immortals, we have no ill will towards you two, we just want to cooperate with you." Wu Yu had originally prepared an escape method, but when he heard what the other party said, he paused and wanted to see what the other party wanted to say. At this time, Wu Jun was obviously more suitable to talk to the other party, so he asked, "How do you want to cooperate?" In fact, when the other party said this, Wu Yu and Wu Jun already knew in their hearts that the other party wanted to leave the demon god realm. Sure enough, the supreme lava beast, who had a slightly fiery temper, said in a muffled voice, "We need to leave the demon god realm. You must have a way to get there, whether it is heaven or hell, we are willing to work for them. Now that the demon god realm has collapsed, resources are barren, and the fairy spiritual energy is constantly collapsing, it is understandable that they want to leave the demon god realm." From this perspective, they set up a trap to lure Wu Yu and Wu Jun, which was also a helpless move, and they did nothing wrong. This chapter is not over yet, please click the next page to continue reading. However, Wu Yu and Wu Jun looked at each other and knew that this cooperation could not be achieved. They had discussed this matter before. First of all, Wu Yu himself was like a rat crossing the street in the heavenly court, and it was impossible for him to take them out. And Wu Jun has not yet reached the level of the Eternal Emperor. Even if he has a breakthrough, he has never seen a precedent of the demon god realm going to the heavenly court in the past, so he can't bear this responsibility. If he violates the heavenly rules, it will not be good for him. So, the two of them could not agree to each other's cooperation conditions. So, Wu Jun was embarrassed and shook his head and said, "Sorry, we can't do this condition." As soon as this refusal came out, the faces of the 5 demon emperors instantly became not very good. The superstar immediately threatened, "Don't forget where you are. If you don't take us out of the demon god realm, I'm afraid we won't be able to leave here alive today." When he threatened, the stars in the sky seemed to flicker, and the terrifying aura descended. The momentum from the 9 heavens demon king instantly enveloped Wu Yu and Wu Jun. Not only that, the other 4 demon emperors also enveloped Wu Jun with their momentum and pressure, giving Wu Jun an extremely terrifying pressure. Although he himself was also at the level of the 9 heavens immortal king, the opponent was 5 people working together, with 5 times his momentum, which almost made him a little breathless. Hearing that the opponent was already threatening his life, Wu Yu knew that he could only escape from here first. Taking advantage of the opponent's inattention, he quickly pulled Wu Jun into the floating life tower, and then somersaulted. Relying on the magical power of the somersault cloud, he instantly flipped out. This top-level Taigzu immortal formation couldn't trap him at all. In an instant, Wu Yu and Wu Jun disappeared from that space, basically escaping from the eyes of the 5 demon emperors. This made the 5 demon emperors furious and angry. They did not expect that the game they had planned for 1,000 years would be so easily cracked by the other party, and the other party did not even consider their conditions, simply not giving them any face. "Search, search for me, search the entire demon god world, and find them." The 5 demon emperors almost simultaneously ordered the 5 empires of the demon god world to mobilize. Before, they wanted to set up a trap to catch Wu Yu and his men in one fell swoop, so they did not make the news public, but now that their purpose has been exposed, there is no need to hide it anymore. The entire demon god world seemed to be blown by a gust of wind. Wu Yu took Wu Jun and escaped from the siege of the Taixu Immortal Formation with the somersault cloud, and he couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Although he had confidence in the somersault cloud, the pressure from the 5 demon emperors was too strong, which still put him under great pressure. It's too dangerous. If it weren't for your mysterious means, Wu Yu, I'm afraid it would be difficult to escape today. Wu Jun came out of the fusion tower and breathed a sigh of relief. We need to be more careful next time. The demon emperor will never give up and will definitely search for us in the entire demon god realm. Wu Yu's expression was a little solemn. However, he was skilled and bold, so he still didn't plan to leave here. Anyway, there was nowhere to go if he left here. He hadn't achieved either of his 2 goals in the demon god realm. And Wu Jun didn't plan to leave either. After all, he was at the level of the 9 heavens immortal king. The other party could crush him purely by numbers and couldn't make him surrender. The arrogance of the ancient fairy dragon still existed. Therefore, they continued to act in the demon god realm and could find out a lot of news about the wanted immortals, but they were not afraid at all. The 5 demon emperors even got news about their whereabouts several times, but it was a pity that Wu Yu and his men moved quickly. When the 5 demon emperors got the news and rushed over, they had already left. Such cautious actions lasted for 300 years, and the 5 demon emperors gained almost nothing and could not catch Wu Yu and his group. One day 300 years later, Wu Yu came to a place holding the 2 pendants transformed from the bronze gate and suddenly felt that the reaction of the 2 pendants was extremely strong, even 100 times stronger than when he found the head of the world-destroying infant demon. Hey, what's going on? This situation immediately attracted Wu Yu's attention, but when he looked around, he found that this place was just a void of space, and there seemed to be nothing special around. Walk around and have a look, Wu Jun suggested. Heaven Swallowing Record. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1602. As the pendant vibrated strongly, Wu Yu searched carefully nearby. I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow. Soon he discovered that there was only a small area that could cause the pendant to vibrate, which was a spherical space with a diameter of about 10 feet. This space was nothing special, extremely ordinary, with nothing in it, and it looked like nothingness. Wu Yu and Wu Jun could move freely in this space without encountering any obstacles. No matter how you look at it, this spherical space was nothing special, but it could cause the bronze gate pendant to vibrate strongly. As long as you leave this spherical space, the pendant will instantly lose any reaction. This situation puzzled Wu Yu. What is in this space? It looks so empty, but it can cause such a strong vibration reaction of the bronze gate. Wu Jun was also amazed, constantly searching around for possible immortal formations or mechanisms. Now the 2 of them are wanted by the entire demon world, and staying in one place for a long time is quite dangerous. But they can't give up after finally finding clues. Now they know that this is not a trap set by the 5 demon emperors. In this way, this spherical space with a diameter of only 10 feet may hide some secrets from ancient times. Next, the 2 searched and searched around this space, trying to find any traces of immortal formations or mechanisms, but they could not find any. They did not give up and continued to persist in this place for 5 years. Even during this period of time, Wu Yu bombarded the spherical space and blasted it with the annihilation cloud seal. Almost this space became empty, and anything in it should have appeared. However, now, there is still no change in that place, only the pendant transformed from the bronze door. The reaction is still extremely strong, and it is constantly vibrating violently. Although it is easier to encounter danger if they continue to stay, they still don't want to give up. After all, with such a strong reaction, if this place really hides the body of the demon emperor, it would be terrifying. The 9 heads of the infant demon emperor had already greatly improved Wu Yu. The pendant in this place reacted strongly, hundreds of times more than before. It is conceivable that if there are corpses of emperor demons, they must be top level or extremely numerous. As long as they get them, not only will Wu Yu be able to make rapid progress, but Wu Jun may even be able to directly break through to the realm of the immortal emperor. So they can't leave. However, at this time, they really stayed in one place for too long. Wu Yu had a vague sense of danger, and even Wu Jun's eyebrows jumped, as if something was about to happen. When they just had this feeling, suddenly, the surrounding space collapsed in an instant, and 5 powerful and terrifying auras appeared around them in an instant. It's the Demon Emperor. The two reacted immediately. The 5 demon emperors came here quietly, and they took action as soon as they appeared. Each of them used terrifying heavenly means to bombard Wu Yu and Wu Jun. Light Realm Heavenly Rules. Wu Jun activated the heavenly rules immediately, and a layer of milky white shield with fairy spirit rose from the field, protecting him and Wu Yu in the middle. The 5 opponents joined forces, and their power was extremely terrifying. If it was a one-on-one, Wu Jun could still entangle for a long time, and it was not impossible to defeat the opponent in the end, but now, his light realm heavenly rules could hardly hold on for long, and it was shaky after just a few breaths. Of course, for Wu Yu, these few breaths of delay were enough. He continued to use the floating life tower to bring Wu Jun, and then turned over and left the field instantly. Even if there were 5 demon emperors blocking him, it would not be difficult for Wu Yu to leave. Obviously, the opponent still did not find a way to keep Wu Yu this time, so Wu Yu escaped. It was Wuyan Xingai. He had been spying on us, found us but did not show up, and quietly notified the 5 demon emperors. Wu Jun recalled at this time and realized where the mistake was. Really cunning Wu Yu was not willing to accept it. After Wu Jun found out about the last time, the boundless star sea seemed to be staring at them from a distance this time, which led to their failure to notice. They didn't react until the 5 demon emperors appeared. But there must be something strange about this place, otherwise the Bronze Gate wouldn't react like this. Let's not go far and observe in secret, Wu Yu said. The next situation would depend on Nanshan Wanjiao. If he used the Heaven Realm Traceless, the 5 demon emperors would not be able to find his trace. Wu Yu was still curious about the spherical space that caused the pendant to vibrate, so Nanshan Wanjiao ran over to observe the situation without thinking. When Nanshan Wanjiao returned to that place, only a few breaths had passed. At this time, the 5 demon emperors were annoyed. They were very angry because they had lost Wu Yu's trace again. However, Nanshan Wanjiao noticed that the various heavenly rule methods used by the 5 demon emperors just now, after Wu Jun's heavenly rule of the bright realm dissipated, actually merged together and bombarded the spherical space. The spherical space was hit by the attacks of the 5 demon emperors, and the 5 different attributes of heavenly rule power annihilated that space several times. It just so happens that the 5 demon emperors' original attributes belong to the 5 elements: gold, wood, water, fire, and earth. When they merged together, they actually distorted the space and then changed. In the eyes of the 5 demon emperors, who were shocked and surprised, a huge and majestic bronze gate suddenly appeared from the void. This bronze gate was even bigger than the original bodies of the eternal Golden Mountain and the endless Nether Sea. As soon as it appeared, it stretched across the void, standing steadily and motionlessly, exuding a shocking and amazing aura. Nanshan Wanjiao was watching from the side and found that this huge bronze gate was an enlarged version of the small bronze door in Wu Yu's hand. On the 2 bronze gates, there were several large characters engraved: Eternal Emperor Burial, no living creatures allowed. Staring at these 8 large characters, Nanshan Wanjiao felt a pain in his eyes, as if there was a kind of deterrent force in the dark, preventing him from entering this bronze gate. Eternal Emperor's Burial, where is this? Nanshan Wanjiao was shocked and conveyed the news to Wu Yu with the immortal talisman. This news made Wu Yu a little happy. Obviously, This place hides secrets, even the secret of the bronze door in his hand may be revealed here. The bronze door pendant in Wu Yu's hand is definitely closely related to the bronze door of the Eternal Emperor's burial. No wonder there is such a violent vibration reaction in that space. It turns out that the 5 elements must bombard that space at the same time to open the bronze door. Now Wu Jun also reacted. He didn't expect it to be like this. The eternal golden mountain is gold, the endless nether sea is water, the eternal world tree is wood, the supreme lava giant beast is fire, and the king of heaven is earth. The 5 demon emperors happen to be of the 5 elements. Otherwise, it is not necessarily possible to make this bronze door appear in the world. In addition, Wu Yu was able to find this place because of the bronze door. Compared with the entire demon god realm, this space is like a grain of sand in the desert. It can be seen how deeply it is hidden. I am afraid that the creator does not want it to be discovered by others. There are definitely endless secrets hidden in it. Unfortunately, the 5 demon emperors now occupy the entrance of the bronze door. Wu Yu cannot get close. Now he can only be patient and see what the other party will do next. The appearance of the bronze door made the 5 demon emperors excited. They have been in the demon god realm for so long, and they think there is nothing in the demon god realm that they don't know. Now, this bronze door is completely beyond their cognition. They have never heard of the Eternal Emperor burial before. This place sounds like the tomb where the Eternal Emperor demon is buried. Endless Demon Emperor spoke first, his voice trembling a little, enough to show how excited he is now. Once this Eternal Emperor burial is opened, our breakthrough to the Eternal Emperor demon will be just around the corner, the Eternal Demon Emperor said a little greedily, and his crisp voice became a little sharp. Although the other 3 demon emperors didn't say anything, they were equally excited. I didn't expect that kid to linger in this place for so long, and it turned out to be for this Eternal Emperor burial. Let's try to see if we can open it. The superstar's voice was a little cold, with a suppressed calmness. The terrifying warning on the bronze gate was completely ignored by the 5 demon emperors. Although the 4 big words "no entry for strangers" made them tremble in their hearts, and they felt an inexplicable fear, as if a great terror was intimidating them, but the expectation of the realm of the Eternal Emperor demon still overwhelmed this fear in their hearts. Come on, join forces to blast open this Emperor burial gate. Under the leadership of the Eternal World Tree, the 5 demon emperors once again attacked at the same time, releasing the terrifying power of the heavenly rules towards the bronze gate. Nanshan Wanjiao hid in the distance, checking the situation, thinking to himself if the other party opened the bronze gate. But this is still left to Wu Yu to decide. Nanshan Wanjiao didn't think much. Wu Yu had never made a wrong decision, so he was too lazy to think. He might as well sleep more and conserve his energy for the beauties he would meet in the future. However, the situation he thought of did not happen. Although the bronze gate of the Eternal Emperor's burial was bombarded by the 5 demon emperors at the same time, it did not move at all. Not even a scratch could be made on the bronze gate. The 5 demon emperors were not discouraged and continued to bombard it with the heavenly rules, but until they used all their means, they could not shake the bronze gate even a little. The 5 demon emperors were a little shocked. What kind of material was this bronze gate made of to withstand such a strong attack? But they also had some expectations, because the more difficult it was to open the Eternal Emperor's burial, the more amazing secrets it must contain. They exhausted all their strength and could not open it, but they did not stop there, but became more interested. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Heaven Swallowing Record. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1603. Wu Yu and Wu Jun stayed at the Bronze Gate, not far from the entrance to the Yongsheng Emperor's burial, and hid themselves. They felt the movement of the 5 demon emperors bombarding the Bronze Gate, but judging from the news coming back from Nanshan Wanjiao, the attacks of the 5 demon emperors seemed to have no effect. However, Nanshan Wanjiao immediately sent back a message, "Old Wu, there seems to be a small groove in the center of the 2 doors of the Yongsheng Emperor's burial palace. Your pendant bronze door should be able to be embedded in it. Could it be that this is the way to open that door?" Wu Yu thought for a while and then sent back the message, "Continue to check the situation. If the 5 demon emperors are present, it is impossible for me to step forward." Nanshan Wanjiao knew that it was unrealistic for Wu Yu to come here now, but he continued to observe the situation. It seemed that the 5 demon emperors were more interested in this bronze gate than anything else in the demon god world. Even the 5 demon emperors began to set up immortal formations on the spot. In all directions of the bronze gate, they began to arrange terrifying and tyrannical top-level Taixu immortal formations. On the one hand, they wanted to prevent others from getting close to this place. On the other hand, they also thinking that maybe I could rely on the power of the immortal formation to open the immortal emperor's tomb. Nanshan Wanjiao soon couldn't get too close, because the opponent kept deploying the immortal formations outwards, surrounding the gate of the eternal emperor's burial gate, surrounded by all kinds of terrifying immortal formations. Nanshan Wanjiao cannot get closer, but from this distance, you can still see the situation near the bronze gate. The 5 demon emperors were still trying various methods to bombard the bronze gate, but unfortunately the bronze gate remained motionless. Wu Yu is also discussing with Wu Jun. Could this be a tomb where the eternal emperor demon is buried? If so, if all the eternal emperor demon can be buried in it, how terrifying is the person who created this eternal emperor demon? Wu Jun sighed repeatedly. He has seen many existences at the immortal emperor immortal level in heaven and the fairy world, but even those immortal emperor immortals may not be able to cast such an immortal emperor tomb. Being able to remain motionless under the bombardment already illustrates the problem. Even hundreds of years later, the 5 demon emperors have deployed many attacking Taixu immortal formations, which can maximize their own strength. Relying on these one-time attack Taixu immortal formation, the instantaneous burst of power when they join forces is almost comparable to that of the eternal emperor demon. However, even so, the bronze gate remains motionless. From the time the bronze gate appeared until now, it has been standing in the void for hundreds of years. No matter how bombarded it was by the demon emperor, it has not moved at all, nor has there been any trace of damage. It seems to be the strongest existence in the world, and even 5 demon emperors are helpless against it. In the end, 2,000 years passed. The 5 demon emperors even asked the subordinates of the 8 heavenly demon king to come over to help, so that their collective power to bombard the bronze gate became several times stronger. In the end, they were still unable to shake the bronze gate even a bit. Many of the top demon kings in the demon god world gathered near this bronze gate, but they were unable to do anything about it. Finally one day, the 5 demon emperors gathered alone again, and then the endless demon emperor thought of Wu Yu and Wu Jun again and came up with a way. Before, they wanted to open the bronze door, which is the burial of the eternal emperor, but now they found that it was not possible, so they could only think of other ways. The 5 demon emperors thought about it, and the only way they could think of was Wu Yu. After all, it was Wu Yu who stayed in this place before. If not for this, they would not have been able to discover the burial of the eternal emperor. It is very likely that Wu Yu had a way to open this bronze door. So they released news that they wanted to cooperate with Wu Yu. This news quickly spread in the demon and god world, and was spread everywhere, hoping to let Wu Yu know about it. In fact, Wu Yu was not far from them. Of course, he was hidden and could not be discovered by the demon emperors. He soon learned that the other party wanted to cooperate. During these 2,000 years, Wu Yu was not just waiting. At first, he wanted to wait for the 5 demon emperors to retreat, and then go up and try to open the bronze door after leaving. However, it was obviously impossible for the 5 demon emperors to abandon this place, so Wu Yu had no chance. Next, even the 5 demon emperors will study here for hundreds of thousands of years. Wu Yu cannot wait forever. It is basically impossible to survive all these demon emperors. Therefore, during this period of time, Wu Yu has been cultivating on his own. Even after receiving the news that the 5 demon emperors wanted to cooperate, Wu Yu did not stop, but continued to practice. The Tao understanding he gained from devouring the world-destroying infant demon had not been fully digested before and had been slowly improving. In the process of understanding, now focusing on cultivation and improving his own realm, Wu Yu still gains something. So now is a critical moment in cultivation. It is impossible for Wu Yu to stand up and cooperate with the demon emperors. At least he has to wait until he has the strength to fight against the 9 heaven demon king. Anyway, without the small bronze door on his body, it would be impossible for the 5 demon emperors to enter the eternal emperor's burial. He can practice with peace of mind. In the past 2000 years, he first improved the magical power of the fiery eyes and golden eyes. After such a long period of accumulation, the fiery eyes and golden eyes finally broke through to a new level called Golden Flame World. He can use his eyes to make the opponent's whole body burn. Start the Golden Flame World fire. The appearance of this Golden Flame World divine power allowed Wu Yu to continue to comprehend new means and condense a new heavenly rule. So he ignored the news of the cooperation of the 5 demon emperors, but continued to practice and condensed his 5th heavenly rule, which was based on the new realm of the Golden Flame World, the heavenly rule based on the fire eyes and golden pupils, the Golden Eye heavenly rule. It would be difficult to defeat the opponent with just the Golden Flame World fire, but now, after condensing this 5th heavenly rule, the Golden Eye heavenly rule, the horror of this heavenly rule has at least reached the level of void reversal with the Annihilation Cloud Seal. Even after performing violent magic, the law of heaven and earth, as well as the battle heavenly rule and the flesh heavenly rule, its destructive power has become one of Wu Yu's strongest means now. After reaching the Taixu Fairyland, the power of heavenly rule is the main means of combat for immortals. The same is true for Wu Yu. His strongest means now, void reversal with the Annihilation Cloud Seal is one, but there are 2 stronger ones. The first is the heavenly rule of the Avatar performed by millions of clones together, and the second is the Golden Eye heavenly rule. It can be said that these 2 powers of the heavenly rule do not need to be coordinated, and they are even simpler and more brutal to use, which is more convenient than the void reversal and the cloud annihilation seal. He and Wu Jun practiced nearby, hid in the floating life tower, and asked Nanshan Wanjiao to keep an eye on the situation of the demon emperors. It has been like this until 30,000 years have passed, and he finally completed his practice. After condensing the 5th heavenly rule and reaching the 5 heavenly immortal king, he practiced the realm of the law of heaven and earth to a new level. Now the law of heaven and earth makes his power burst twice as strong as before. The results of the 30,000 years of practice are remarkable, which has brought his strength to a new level. The realm of the 9 heavenly immortal king should be able to fight against the enemy now. Although I can't defeat the opponent can't take me down either, Wu Yu now has such confidence. 30,000 years have passed, and the 5 demon emperors and the demon god world outside have basically not changed much. They are still looking for Wu Yu and studying the mystery of the Bronze Gate. So Wu Yu was not in a hurry. He was in the Fusheng Tower, and Nanshan Wanjiao led the Fusheng Tower. Outsiders could not find them at all. There were even rumors that Wu Yu and his team had already left the demon god realm, but the 5 demon emperors could not get confirmation and had been looking for them. In the Fusheng Tower, in order to verify his current strength, Wu Yu tried to fight with Wu Jun. Wu Yu, you have to be careful, I will not hold back, Wu Jun said solemnly. Since it was a competition, he also wanted to see how strong Wu Yu was now. He believed that Wu Yu would not be wasting time in the past 30,000 years. Before, in the depths of the void crack, he had seen Wu Yu's fighting power and knew that Wu Yu could kill the 8 heavens demon king. At that time, Wu Yu was not very different from the 9 heavens immortal king. Now that 30,000 years have passed, Wu Yu must be stronger, and Wu Jun does not have to worry about killing Wu Yu with all his strength. Yes, Wu Yu nodded and waited seriously. In the space of the floating life tower, they began to spar and fight. Wu Jun took the lead in condensing the immortal spirit in his body and attacked Wu Yu with the Dragon Breath Heavenly Rule. This was the heavenly rule he used to deal with the boundless star sea at that time, but the boundless star sea was too cunning at that time, so it had no effect. In fact, this Dragon Breath Heavenly Rule is one of Wu Jun's strongest means. The condensed dragon breath with immortal spirit instantly enveloped Wu Yu, bringing him infinite and terrifying pressure. Void reversal. With the advent of the Dragon Breath Heavenly Rule, Wu Yu directly performed the void reversal and instantly burst out the Cloud Seal, cooperating with the Battle Heavenly Rule and the Flesh and Blood Heavenly Rule to bless himself, so that the void in the direction where the Dragon Breath Heavenly Rule descended exploded, blocking the bombardment of the Dragon Breath Heavenly Rule. The power of both sides exploded in the floating life tower, but still could not cause damage to the floating life tower. Wu Jun was a little surprised. Although he thought that Wu Yu could resist his attack, he did not expect him to be so easy. He could not help but have a strong interest. Next, the crazy immortal thunder heavenly rule. Wu Jun used the heavenly rule again. The crazy immortal thunder heavenly rule was a heavenly rule that he used less frequently, but its power was stronger than the Dragon Breath heavenly rule. However, after using this crazy immortal thunder heavenly rule, he would lose strength for a period of time, so he rarely used it. At this moment, the terrifying thunder was raging in the space of the floating life tower, and it rushed towards Wu Yu from all directions. Violent technique, law of heaven and earth. Golden Eye's heavenly rule. Wu Yu turned into a golden ape, roaring wildly, and used the violent technique and law of heaven and earth at the same time. With the growth of flesh and blood and the battle heavenly rule, his current strength has almost reached the extreme, and then his eyes released a brilliant golden light, shining brightly throughout the venue. The crazy immortal thunder heavenly rule and the golden eyes heavenly rule confronted each other, and the power of both sides burst out instantly. It can be clearly seen that Wu Yu was not at all inferior. Even Wu Jun used his strongest means but was unable to defeat Wu Yu. This shows how powerful Wu Yu is now. Heaven Swallowing Record. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1604. Wu Yu and Wu Jun tried to fight, and the facts proved that he could indeed compete with opponents at the level of 9 Heavens Immortal King and 9 Heavens Demon King. In this way, I have the capital to deal with the 5 Heavens Demon King. Wu Yu was relieved. It was basically impossible to improve further in the future, so he decided to negotiate with the 5 demon emperors now and seek cooperation. The other party could not give up the eternal emperor burial. If Wu Yu wanted to step into it, he had to cooperate with them. There were 5 opponents, and Wu Yu and Wu Jun together were not their opponents for the time being. Fortunately, the key to open the eternal emperor burial was on Wu Yu, and the other party could not forcefully take action before the bronze door was opened. Even if they agree to cooperate, they may take action at the moment the bronze door is opened. Be careful, Wu Jun warned. Understood. Wu Yu nodded. Then, he finally appeared with Wu Jun after missing for 30,000 years, and appeared in front of the 5 demon emperors openly. At this moment, the 5 demon emperors were very distressed, and they had almost lost confidence in opening the bronze door themselves, and there was no hope at all. Now most of their energy is focused on finding Wu Yu and Wu Jun. Unfortunately, although the entire demon god world has been mobilized, they have nothing to show for it. Now they suddenly see Wu Yu and Wu Jun appear, and they are immediately excited. However, they looked at each other, but did not dare to do anything. Because until now, they still don't know how Wu Yu escaped from their encirclement, so they are afraid that if Wu Yu runs away again, they will never be able to open this bronze door again. Led by the 5 demon emperors, more than a dozen 8-day demon kings, all of whom are subordinates of the 5 empires, are now heading towards Wu Yu and Wu Jun. To Immortals, we have been waiting for you for too long. The eternal demon emperor spoke first, and the body of his eternal world tree was green and covered the sky. His voice was a little slow, but very steady, and at the same time mixed with a little indifference. After all, he is a plant-turned-demon, and his personality cannot be as hot-tempered as Immortals and other demon beasts. The main reason is that he has existed for too long, which has caused his temperament to become cold, and few things can cause his emotional fluctuations. Even now, facing the secret of the Eternal Emperor's burial, he can still keep calm. We are here to negotiate conditions. You want to step into the Eternal Emperor's burial, right? Wu Yu did not beat around the bush and said directly, I can try to see if I can open the Eternal Emperor's burial. Of course, I have a certain degree of confidence. Our condition is that once the bronze gate is opened, other demon kings except you 5 cannot step into it. He knew that the other party's 5 demon kings must all enter it. This is the bottom line condition, otherwise the other party will not agree. Not even one less will do. The consequence of that is basically the breakdown of negotiations. Therefore, he proposed that other demon kings could not enter. In this way, in the Eternal Emperor's burial, Wu Yu and Wu Jun would face less pressure. Although there is still a danger of being besieged by the other party, Wu Yu's strength has improved now, and he has the means of the somersault cloud, so he is confident in himself. This condition was beyond the expectations of the 5 demon kings. The supreme lava beast was the first to object, this condition is too harsh. Our subordinates have been busy with us for so long, it is impossible for them to not even have a sip of soup. At least, we have to give us some quotas, otherwise, the entire demon god realm will not agree. He said this a little too much, but in fact he was just trying to gain opportunities for his subordinates. If the bronze gate can allow them to break through to the realm of the eternal emperor demon, then the division of power in the demon god realm will be reshuffled after they come out, and the strength of his subordinates is also very important. Unfortunately, Wu Yu would not give in on this point. He shook his head and said, no, you can discuss it, but except for the 5 of you, all other demon kings cannot enter, otherwise I will leave immediately and will not cooperate with you. You must know that I don't have to go in. This is Wu Yu's trump card. He holds the key in his hand, and the other party's mood to enter the Eternal Emperor's burial is much more urgent than him. He has taken the absolute initiative in the negotiation process. The 5 demon emperors of the other party did not look very good. They were actually threatened by a junior. But now they have no choice. If they want to enter the Eternal Emperor's burial, they really have to listen to Wu Yu's words. So they can only say, let's discuss it. Please wait for a moment, 2 Immortals. Wu Yu told them to do it as soon as possible, so they took many demon kings back to the many Tegzu immortal formations near the Bronze Gate, wanting to discuss it privately. Wu Yu couldn't hear the discussion in the immortal formation, and Wu Jun and Nanshan Wanjiao had no chance to listen. However, Wu Yu could guess that the other party would most likely let the 8 heavenly demon kings be patient for the time being, and then wait until the Bronze Gate is opened. They will definitely attack Wu Yu and Wu Jun, and then they will not have to be controlled by Wu Yu. In this case, Wu Yu had no choice. He just wanted a chance to open the Bronze Gate, so as long as the other party gave him a chance, what would happen after opening it would be seen at that time. After 7 days and 7 nights, the 5 demon emperors finally reappeared. The Endless Demon Emperor, the Eternal Demon Emperor, the Eternal Demon Emperor, the Supreme Demon Emperor, the Heavenly Demon Emperor, they all transformed into human form, as if to show their respect for the Immortals and to show their sincerity. We agree to your conditions. Except for the 5 of us, other demon kings are not allowed to enter the Eternal Emperor's burial, otherwise they will be killed without mercy. The King Superstar said indifferently, especially the words kill without mercy, which revealed a murderous intention. It seemed that the result of their discussion was to successfully suppress the other 8 heavenly demon kings and prevent them from entering. Whether he was pretending or real, Wu Yu didn't care. He nodded, then let's get started. In addition to the 5 demon emperors, other demon gods including the 8 heavenly demon king, a total of thousands of demon kings who were originally near the Bronze Gate, were all driven out and were not allowed to take even one step near the immortal formation of the Bronze Gate. The 5 demon emperors personally supervised them. These demon kings were all silent and did not dare to move. Thousands of demon kings originally came to help open the bronze door. They spent 30,000 years here, but in the end they were told to get out. This result seemed to make them very unhappy, and one could clearly feel the resentment in the hearts of these thousands of demon kings. It's a pity that under the strong suppression of the 5 demon emperors, they can't vent their grievances. Anyone who takes the lead will be killed as a warning to the monkeys, and will definitely be killed on the spot. Immediately afterwards, the 5 demon emperors accompanied Wu Yu and Wu Jun, stepped into the immortal formation, and approached the Bronze Gate. During this period, Wu Yu and Wu Jun were always vigilant. After all, they had entered each other's territory and were surrounded by the opponent's immortal formation. Once the other party showed signs of taking action, Wu Yu could immediately escape with Wu Jun. Fortunately, the 5 demon emperors have turned into human forms and are relatively calm. They have not made any moves and are not close to each other, just to prevent Wu Yu and the others from suspecting. As they got closer and closer to the Bronze Gate, the breath of the eternal emperor's burial came to their faces. It seemed to come from endless ancient times. The vicissitudes of time left no trace on the Bronze Gate, but it carried a natural ancient charm. Shocking. The 8 characters' burial of the immortal emperor, no strangers allowed to enter, made people feel even more horrified. Start now, we won't get close. The 5 demon emperors stood far away from the Bronze Gate and spoke to Wu Yu sincerely. At least on the surface, they have done a good job. At this distance, Wu Yu doesn't need to worry about them suddenly making a move. Even if the opponent has a trap, he can leave as quickly as possible. Immediately afterwards, he came to the bronze door. He first carefully observed the entire Bronze Gate, and then waited for a day and night, which slightly wore down the patience of the 5 demon emperors. The longer the time dragged on, the less clear the other party was about when Wu Yu would take action, and at the same time, it was impossible for the other party to rush him, so Wu Yu delayed it for a day and a night. When another night fell, Wu Yu quietly reminded Wu Yu. Jun, get ready for action. He took out the 2 small bronze door pendants and put them into the grooves on both sides of the bronze door, just enough to fit in. As the small bronze door was embedded, the entire bronze door of the immortal emperor's tomb began to shake as expected, and slowly opened. A breath of ancient times came out from the door. Wu Yu was the first to bear the brunt of its ancient aura. The impact is almost suffocating. It's open. Wu Jun and the 5 demon emperors are also extremely excited now. However, Wu Yu delayed it for a day and a night, and when the 5 demon emperors were all a little impatient, he suddenly turned on it, making their reaction slow down by half a beat. Do it. The 5 demon emperors planned to take action at that time, but it was a pity that Wu Yu and Wu Jun were prepared earlier than them. When the bronze door only cracked a small crack, they ducked in. Before Wu Yu entered, the 2 small bronze door pendants returned to his hands. As a result, the bronze door slowly closed. The 5 demon emperors originally wanted to take action, but before they had time, Wu Yu and Wu Jun disappeared. They quickly moved forward, and barely chased them into the eternal emperor's burial before the bronze door was completely closed. Originally, they had discussed with the ministers of the 8 heavenly demon king that when the gate opened, they would capture Wu Yu and Wu Jun and drive them away no matter what. At that time, wouldn't it be easy for other demon kings to enter? But they didn't expect that after Wu Yu entered, he would take away the bronze door key, and the bronze door would be closed directly. Not only was it closed, the bronze gate also completely disappeared after being closed. When the 8-day demon kings who were far away from here approached, this space, which was only 10 feet in diameter, had completely calmed down, leaving only the trace of ancient breath, announcing what had just happened here. Suddenly, many 8 heaven demon king and 7 heaven demon king roared angrily. They were unwilling to accept such a good opportunity, which might be an opportunity to set foot on the immortal emperor demon, but ended up sneaking away from their eyes like this. Heaven Swallowing Record. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1605. Wu Yu was the first to step into the Eternal Emperor's tomb. Wu Jun followed closely beside him, and the 5 demon emperors followed behind them, still some distance away. Is this glass? Wu Yu felt that he was stepping on a solid ground, so he looked down and found that he was actually stepping on a huge piece of transparent glass. This piece of glass was endless, extending all the way to an extremely far place, and it was impossible to see the end. Through the glass, you can see that there is a huge world under this huge glass. In that world, there are tombs that cannot be seen at a glance. These tombs are lined up, all the way to an extremely far place, and then covered by thick fog. No one knows what exists in that distant fog. If there are more tombs, it will be shocking. Because Wu Yu looked around, he could see all kinds of big characters written on those tombs: Tomb of the Unborn Emperor, Tomb of the Original Emperor, Tomb of the Moon-Swallowing Emperor Demon, etc. There is no doubt that all these tombs belong to the tombs of the Emperor Demons. There are countless immortal Emperor Demons buried here. Wu Yu was shocked by the scene in front of him. He looked into the distance through the glass under his feet. There were obviously more Emperor Demon tombs in the thick fog. There were tens of thousands of them. The most important thing was that the thick fog was too far away. No one knew where it led to, how big the entire tomb group below was, and how many Emperor Demons were buried. If this was a vast sea of Emperor Demon tombs, then the location of the head of the world-destroying infant demon he had seen before was almost just a small pool of water, which was a huge difference. Were all these Emperor Demons destroyed in the war back then? Wu Jun was also shocked and couldn't help but ask questions now. Now they only knew that there was a war that destroyed the entire demon god realm. In the demon god realm, some ancient Emperor Demon corpses could occasionally be found. As for the corpses of other immortal Emperor Demons, they were thought to have been destroyed in the war. Now it seems that they are all buried in this Eternal Emperor's tomb. Who built this tomb? Wu Yu couldn't help thinking about this, and the scene in front of him made him speechless. He could see through the glass under his feet that every emperor's tomb in the tomb below was well preserved. Obviously, no one else had been here. This was an extremely mysterious place in the demon god realm, and it also contained the biggest secret of the Great War in the demon god realm. Perhaps the mystery that has always been there will be solved in this Eternal Emperor's tomb, but Wu Yu knew that there must be many dangers hidden in this Emperor's tomb. The 8 big characters on the bronze gate at the entrance of the Eternal Emperor's tomb alone made him feel an extremely dangerous atmosphere, not to mention entering the interior of the Emperor's tomb. It's just that there is transparent glass separating them now, so they are not really in the scope of the Emperor's tomb. So for the time being, they haven't encountered any danger. Wu Yu and Wu Jun, the two have not carefully looked at the situation of the tomb group below, and they don't know how to break through the transparent glass below for the time being. The 5 demon emperors who rushed in behind them have surrounded them. 2 immortals, you can't run away now, right? The 5 demon emperors gathered around them. They had already transformed into their original bodies, and their huge bodies exuded a strong aura. The Eternal Demon Emperor spoke first, his voice calm but with a bit of sarcasm. The current situation is very favorable to the 5 demon emperors. As long as Wu Yu and Wu Jun are killed, they can share this Eternal Emperor tomb together. There are too many corpses of Eternal Emperor demons buried in the tomb below. If we get some of them, we can break through to the Eternal Emperor demon realm. The Supreme Lava Beast seems to be a little crazy now. He wants to quickly get rid of Wu Yu and Wu Jun, and then go down to the tomb to devour the corpses of those eternal emperor demons. The 5 demon emperors were all a little manic. After surrounding them, they didn't say much. Various heavenly rules offensives had already bombarded and landed on the heads of Wu Yu and Wu Jun. But Wu Yu had already reacted. He had been prepared. When the 5 demon emperors surrounded him, he took Wu Jun inside the floating life tower, then somersaulted and escaped again with the somersault cloud. After Wu Yu left with the somersault cloud, there was still a large piece of glass under his feet, and he still couldn't see the end. No one knew how vast this place was. Wu Jun also came out to act with him, thinking about how to break through the glass below. This layer of glass should not be broken by violent attack, right? It looks very solid. It may be related to the 2 bronze doors Wu Jun guessed. Wu Yu nodded, he thought so too. It seems that the glass under his feet is extremely solid. Thinking of the previous bronze gate and the entrance to the Eternal Emperor's burial, the 5 demon emperors jointly bombarded it without any trace, so the things inside cannot be fragile. Therefore, Wu Yu put his mind on the key of the bronze door, but the 2 keys became quiet after entering the Eternal Emperor's burial, and they were not as active and vibrating as before. While they were studying, a loud noise suddenly came from afar, sounding like the place where the 5 demon emperors were just now. Wu Yu hurriedly looked from afar, and saw that the glass there seemed to have cracks. It turned out that the 5 demon emperors were violently attacking this huge piece of glass. Unexpectedly, this glass was actually cracked. The 2 sides were far apart, but now, the movement of the 5 demon emperors was so loud that Wu Yu could still see them from afar and even hear their excited roars. It would be fine if we didn't get the bronze pendant, but I didn't expect that this layer of glass could be broken. As long as we can go down to the Emperor's tomb, what's the point of the bronze pendant? This was the roar of the supreme lava beast. Yes, we can just break the glass and go down to the tomb group. Don't pay attention to the 2 immortals, Wang Jinshan also said in a crisp voice. They are all a little crazy now. When they were in the demon god world, even if it was just a corpse of an emperor demon, they would all pay attention to it, and even try their best to snatch it. But now they are facing countless emperor demon tombs. However, the 5 demon emperors still knew that this place might be dangerous, so they didn't separate. They may not have had much hope at the beginning, but they joined forces to bombard the glass under their feet and broke it, which surprised them very much. They continued to attack, and the whole piece of glass began to disintegrate from the cracks and turned into fragments. The 5 demon emperors could no longer hold back, and rushed towards the tombs below. They turned into their original bodies, which were as huge as the sky and the sun, but the tombs below were also huge. The area occupied by each emperor's tomb was more than 10 times larger than their original bodies. Not long after, the figures of the 5 demon emperors disappeared in the thick fog. Let's go down too, Wu Jun said to Wu Yu. Like the 5 demon emperors, he was in the 9th level of Taixu Fairyland. Once he got some opportunities, he might break through to the realm of immortal emperor demons, so now was the time to fight. Well, let's go, Wu Yu did not hesitate. Even if there were 5 demon emperors below, he could be invincible with his somersault cloud and could go down to compete with them. So he and Wu Jun followed the 5 demon emperors and rushed down from the gap in the glass. Soon, Wu Yu also entered the fog. He could see some tombs clearly before, but he couldn't see them at all in the fog. All the emperor tombs disappeared from his sight. Wu Yu and Wu Jun were so close that they could not see clearly. There is something strange about this fog, be careful, Wu Jun warned with a serious expression. The 5 demon emperors have long disappeared, and no one knows where they are now or what they have encountered. Wu Yu and Wu Jun continued to move down, heading towards the direction of the emperor's burial they had seen before, but no matter how long they moved forward, they were always trapped in the fog and could not find any trace of the emperor's burial. There was silence all around, no other sound came, and the white fog filled the entire space, as if only Wu Yu and Wu Jun were left between heaven and earth. It's not that easy. Wu Yu was very cautious now, always paying attention to possible situations around him. Suddenly, he felt as if he was dazzled. Wu Jun was originally on his right-hand side, and in an instant, another Wu Jun appeared on his left-hand side. This process was silent, and in the blink of an eye, there were two Wu Jun beside Wu Yu. This made Wu Yu alert. The danger of the Eternal Emperor's burial may have started from now. The two Wu Jun suddenly appeared and found each other's existence, and immediately glared at each other. Wu Yu, be careful, he is fake. The Wu Jun on the right was the first to speak, with a serious look. Wu Yu, don't be fooled by him, he is fake. The other Wu Jun shouted with an unbelievable look on his face, as if wondering why another self appeared in this place. You are talking nonsense, he is fake, Wu Yu, let's kill him together. Don't talk nonsense, I am real, Wu Yu, don't be fooled. The two Wu Jun actually started arguing like this. The expressions, movements, and demeanor of both parties are all so lifelike that it is impossible to tell the real from the fake just from the surface. If any one of them appeared in front of Wu Yu alone, Wu Yu would not think that the other party was fake, but now, there are two Wu Jun in front of him, so one of them must be fake. Fire eyes and golden pupils. Wu Yu immediately used the magical power of fire eyes and golden pupils, and a golden light shot out from his pupils. His fire eyes and golden pupils shone on the two Wu Juns one after another, and soon found that the true form of one of the Wu Jun was actually Mist, not the ancient fairy dragon, and immediately knew that the Wu Jun was a fake. Do it. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Heaven Swallowing Record. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1606. The real Wu Jun was not idle either. He used the dragon breath heaven rule directly on the fake Wu Jun and suddenly appeared in the mist. Under the double attack, the fake Wu Jun laughed grimly, and then the whole person turned into green smoke and disappeared from the mist, leaving the attacks of the two people in the air. The two people's powerful forces collided together, raising a gust of wind, which blew away the mist slightly, but soon gathered again, blocking their sight. Looking around, there was nothing but mist, a vast expanse of white, and nothing could be seen. Wu Yu had no choice but to continue moving forward, so he took Wu Jun forward, but after walking a few steps, he suddenly found that Wu Jun's figure disappeared all of a sudden, shrouded in mist, just like the fake Wu Jun just now, quietly disappeared. Wu Yu was startled. In this way, he was the only one left nearby. He walked around nearby, but could not find any trace of Wu Jun at all, so he could only send out a communication fairy talisman. But soon, he found that even the immortal talisman for sending a message could not get a response, as if Wu Jun had disappeared from this world, which made people feel creepy. Too weird. Wu Yu frowned. Although he could not find Wu Jun, it was not a solution to stay where he was. He could only continue to move forward alone. This fog had no idea where it would end. After Wu Yu was left alone, it became even quieter around him, as if he was the only one left in the world. He was now always ready to use his fiery eyes and golden pupils. This was to prevent someone else from appearing around him, and not to recognize that the other person was fake at once. The situation of the two Wu Jun just now made Wu Yu alert. This thick fog could affect people's minds, and only fiery eyes and golden pupils could break it. Suddenly, there was a little movement in front, and Wu Yu also felt that the temperature around him seemed to have risen. He could not help but move forward cautiously and vigilantly, and finally saw a familiar figure soon. It was the Supreme Demon Emperor, the Supreme Lava Beast. The Supreme Lava Beast, which was a lava body with only a mouth, almost noticed Wu Yu's arrival at the same time, and immediately grinned, I didn't expect you to come to my door. It is obvious that the Supreme Demon Emperor is still thinking about the two bronze door pendants on Wu Yu's body. They are the keys to open the Eternal Emperor's burial. Even if he enters the Eternal Emperor's burial, there may be other uses. So he wants to take away the two bronze door pendants. Wu Yu will naturally not let the other party get what he wants. It seems that after entering the fog, the 5 demon emperors of the other party separated from each other, just like him and Wu Jun. Now that there is only one person left, there is no need to retreat. Fight. Wu Yu made a decision. He had improved his strength a while ago, and he only sparred with Wu Jun, and had not really fought. Now he can see what level he has reached. At this time, he also used his fiery eyes to take a look at the other party's body and found that it was indeed a supreme lava beast. It must be a real supreme lava beast, not a fake body or an illusion. The supreme lava beast took action before him. Melting and exploding heavenly rules. The supreme demon emperor roared wildly, and the giant mouth on the lava body suddenly opened. A ball of lava fire that could burn the space erupted and instantly landed in front of Wu Yu, and then exploded in an instant. The molten exploding heavenly rules suddenly attacked, and the temperature around Wu Yu rose sharply in an instant, making him feel as if he was immersed in a lava furnace. The hair on his body quickly curled up, and even looked like it was about to burn. The 9 Heavens Demon King is powerful and should not be underestimated. And the opponent's molten exploding heavenly rules came too fast, and instantly exploded in front of Wu Yu, leaving him nowhere to hide. He could only subconsciously perform void reversal, and the Kinkan world and the void world turned around in an instant, squeezing out the opponent's molten exploding heavenly rules. However, Wu Yu's move was still a bit forced. If he reacted a little slower, the molten exploding heavenly rules would at least hurt him. Now, the Supreme Lava Beast and he are both in the Void World, but even this condensed Void World is filled with fog, and it is impossible to see anything too far away. The opponent's molten explosion heavenly rules were reversed and exploded in the outside world, but the terrifying temperature could not affect Wu Yu in the Void World. The Supreme Lava Beast was a little angry, and his lava breath suddenly surged. Around the huge lava body, a black and red flame rose up, Hellfire heavenly rules. The black and red flame seemed to emerge from hell, surrounding the supreme lava beast, making his entire momentum begin to rise violently. In a short period of time, the Hellfire heavenly rules burned all over his body, increasing his combat power by unknown times. This is a kind of heavenly rule power similar to Wu Yu's flesh and blood heavenly rules, or combat heavenly rules. Once it is exerted, it can bless oneself and enhance one's strength. However, the Hellfire heavenly rule is obviously not so easy to use. The Supreme Lava Beast has spent a lot of energy and time to use this heavenly rule, and the Hellfire heavenly rule has not yet been fully condensed. Wu Yu immediately took action. He knew that once the opponent's Hellfire heavenly rule was truly covered and formed, it was very likely that the opponent would be able to kill him with one move. Violence technique. Cloud Seal. Wu Yu instantly turned into a golden ape, with the battle heavenly rules and the blood and flesh heavenly rules already blessed all over his body. The terrifying power rushed out violently with the growth of the violent technique. The void around the supreme lava beast was instantly blasted open by the annihilation cloud seal, and in the void world, the destructive power of Wu Yu's annihilation cloud seal was even more powerful, blasting out with a bang, and instantly shattered the Hellfire heavenly rules on the side of the supreme lava beast. This chapter is not over, please click on the next page to continue reading. It's just that the opponent's Hellfire heavenly rules were not so easy to be completely shattered. There is still a part of the black and red flames, surrounding the huge lava body of the Supreme Demon Emperor, which has increased its strength to a certain extent. After being destroyed by Wu Yu's annihilation cloud seal, the Hellfire heavenly rules covering the opponent are no longer in a complete state, but this annihilation cloud seal did not hurt the Supreme Demon Emperor at all. Now the Supreme Demon Emperor, with the blessing of the Hellfire Heavenly Rules, continues to launch an offensive towards Wu Yu. The aura of the Nine Heavens Demon King suddenly swept over, melting the Heavenly Rules. A pillar of flames fell from the sky almost instantly. The power of the molten Heavenly Rules turned into a pillar of flames and rushed towards Wu Yu. Everything passing by turned into gas in an instant. Its extremely high temperature was enough to melt Wu Yu on the spot. In particular, the molten Heavenly Rules were now mixed with a part of black and red flames. That was the state where the opponent was covered by the Hellfire Heavenly Rules. The power was more terrifying than usual. Wu Yu did not dare to be careless. He instantly split into millions of clones, all of which appeared in the form of golden apes. At this moment, they gathered the clone Heavenly Rules. Millions of clones attacked at the same time. The clone Heavenly Rules gathered into a beam of light that shook the sky and split the earth, and slammed into the opponent's molten Heavenly Rules pillar of fire. The power of both sides erupted in the void fog, almost shaking away the nearby fog. The flaming pillar of the molten Heavenly Rule and Wu Yu's 1 million clones of the Heavenly Rule both met their opponents at this moment. They collided fiercely, but neither of them could do anything to the other, and ended up in a draw. Wu Yu now has many means, but the clone Heavenly Rule is already a strong one. It is conceivable that this supreme lava beast is extremely powerful, and it is too difficult for Wu Yu to kill the opponent. But he did not lose heart. After this move, the opponent seemed to fall into a short rest, but Wu Yu cheered up, and the power of the Heavenly Rule in his body continued to burst out. The most important thing is that law of heaven and earth was used, and the whole thing changed into a giant. Wu Yu's power at this time was much stronger than before, and his eyes burst out with golden light in the mist. Golden-eyed Heavenly Rule. In the looming mist, the golden-eyed Heavenly Rule became the most dazzling existence, breaking through the heavy mist and blasting on the lava body of the Supreme Demon Emperor. Shield Rock Heavenly Rule. The Supreme Demon Emperor seemed to be covered with a thick layer of rock, like a shield armor covering his whole body. He actually endured the impact of Wu Yu's Golden Eye Heavenly Rule. This was the only means he could use in a short period of time. Unfortunately, Wu Yu's Golden Eye Heavenly Rule was now blessed by various powers. The Blood and Flesh Heavenly Rule, the Battle Heavenly Rule, the Violence Technique, and the Law of Heaven and Earth. These methods were concentrated together, almost allowing the power of the Golden Eye Heavenly Rule to penetrate everything. The next moment, the shield armor condensed by the power of the Shield Rock Heavenly Rule was penetrated by the Golden Eye Heavenly Rule. The golden beam actually broke through the opponent's defense without any hindrance, and even broke up the opponent's Hellfire Heavenly Rule, and shot into the opponent's lava body. The Supreme Demon Emperor roared with a hint of pain in his voice. Obviously, he was injured by Wu Yu's Golden Eye Heavenly Rule, and the injury was not light. "You are awesome!" The Supreme Demon Emperor roared in anger, and then turned around and ran away. Wu Yu had gained an advantage, so he naturally would not let the other party slip away. However, in the fog, the other party only advanced for a moment and then disappeared. In this thick fog, it was like looking for a needle in a haystack to find the other party again, which made Wu Yu frown. He finally injured the Supreme Demon Emperor, but he did not expect the other party to escape directly. If he could get rid of the other party, it would be considered a big trouble. Unfortunately, now Wu Yu could only continue to move forward in the thick fog. Fortunately, not long after, the sound of fighting came from the front again, and this fighting sound seemed to be more intense than the battle between him and the Supreme Demon Emperor. Heaven-Swallowing Record. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1607. In this silent fog, any movement can attract the attention of everyone nearby. When the fierce fighting sound reached Wu Yu's ears, he immediately noticed it and headed in that direction. However, the sound sounded very close, and it took Wu Yu a long time to get closer. In fact, it was much farther than it sounded. After a long time, When he finally came to the place where the fierce fighting sound came from, he saw a scene that made him tear his eyes out. He saw a dark ocean, the body of the endless netherworld sea, and a towering tree, which was the eternal world tree. The two actually joined hands to surround an ancient fairy dragon in the middle. Taiwan Novel Network Rightward Arrow. The two demon emperors joined forces to deal with Wu Jun, and before Wu Yu joined the battle to rescue, the ancient fairy dragon had been smashed to pieces by the opponent's heavenly power. Wu Jun didn't even have time to ask for help before he died. The endless netherworld sea and the eternal world tree, both sides are in the realm of the 9-day demon king, with super strength. Whether besieging Wu Jun or wanting to besiege Wu Yu, it is extremely easy and there is no possibility of failure. Once Wu Yu and Wu Jun separate, they may encounter this ending. Wu Yu's eyes were bloodshot, and his eyes were full of red blood. The scene of the ancient fairy dragon being smashed to pieces in front of him kept replaying in his mind, making him blame himself constantly. Because Wu Jun came to this demon god world and even entered this eternal emperor's burial, it was all because of him, Wu Yu. If it weren't for Wu Yu, Wu Jun wouldn't have come here at all, and thus suffered the siege of the endless nether sea and the eternal world tree, and eventually died. Wu Jun, to Wu Yu, is a respectable elder. He has always helped Wu Yu a lot in the fairy world, and even stood by Wu Yu after the incident was exposed, hiding it from those immortal emperors and coming to mingle with Wu Yu in the demon god world. All kinds of friendship made Wu Yu's eyes well up with tears. Now that he saw Wu Jun being torn to pieces in front of him, he couldn't accept this fact at all. No. He roared and wanted to rush over. No matter what, he had to avenge Wu Jun, at least let the endless nether sea and the eternal world tree pay for his life. But when the other party saw him rushing over, they seemed a little indifferent, and then they retreated into the fog behind them, escaping, and disappeared from the heavy fog in an instant. Wu Yu chased him frantically into the nearby fog, but he couldn't find any trace of the other party. The heavy fog surrounded him, and even made him unable to find Wu Jun's broken body when he wanted to go back. Surrounded by endless fog, Wu Yu was now full of self-blame and guilt. He felt sorry for Wu Jun. But at this time, Nanshan Wanjiao's message came to Wu Yu's mind: "Old Wu, don't blame yourself first, think carefully first, did all this really happen? It is very likely that this is just an illusion in the fog." Nanshan Wanjiao's voice made Wu Yu regain some thinking ability. He frowned slightly, thinking that there seemed to be something wrong in the series of events just now. For example, the endless nether sea and the eternal world tree, after killing Wu Jun, if they see him again, they will definitely not run away, but will definitely join forces to deal with him. They will definitely covet the bronze small door key on me. How could they just retreat and run away like this? The more Wu Yu thought about it, the more he felt something was wrong. At least, the endless nether sea and the eternal world tree were probably not real. As for Wu Jun, Wu Yu also felt something was wrong. After all, he was a 9 heavens immortal king. Even if he was besieged by 2 9 heavens demon kings, he would not be crushed to pieces without being able to say a word. Wu Yu regretted that he did not use his fire eyes to check carefully at that time, but now it is extremely difficult to find the scene at that time. But no matter what, Nanshan Wanjiao's reminder made Wu Yu calm down, and he did not think too much about this matter for the time being. It is very likely that this is just an illusion given to me by the fog, trying to make me lose my mind. Wu Yu thought so. That's right, the situation is still uncertain now, and this fog is too weird. Let's continue to look, maybe we can find other clues. Nanshan Wanjiao made a suggestion. Yeah. Now Wu Yu could only communicate with the people in the floating life tower, but in fact, only at this time Nanshan Wanjiao and the others could give Wu Yu a little help. At other times, Wu Yu could only rely on himself. Now Wu Yu analyzed the scene he just saw and the situation that followed, and concluded that the possibility of Wu Jun being killed was basically very small. The most likely possibility was that the Eternal Emperor burial brought him an illusion, trying to use it to influence his mind. Thinking of the two Wu Jun who appeared before, the fog of the Eternal Emperor burial seemed to become more and more weird. Trapped in the fog, it is not certain what terrible situation will be encountered. But no matter what, Wu Yu would not retreat. He sorted out his mood, temporarily suppressed his worries about Wu Jun, and continued to move forward and search in the fog. After about several days, he had not met anyone else. Whether it was Wu Jun or the other 5 demon emperors who came in with him, they seemed to have completely disappeared. Or this fog was too big and too vast, causing them to be completely dispersed. At this time, Wu Yu suddenly had an idea. In this situation, the magical power of his extra-legal clone happened to be the most useful. Without hesitation, after transforming into a golden ape, he blew out all the hair on his body and turned it into 100. The Wan clones quickly dispersed into the surrounding fog. It is best to use these millions of clones to detect the situation, and if there is danger, it will not have much impact on Wu Yu's body. This Eternal Emperor's tomb is too mysterious, so using clones to investigate is a good choice. As the millions of clones dispersed around, the direction Wu Yu could detect was greatly improved. He and the clones could feel each other's existence and direction, so as the clones dispersed, Wu Yu I have a great understanding of the surrounding situation. Of course, every clone has seen nothing but endless fog so far, and nothing else, but this can also let Wu Yu know that there is nothing big in this area. Danger. This foggy world seems too big. After half a month, Wu Yu couldn't help but sigh. He frowned slightly. Even if millions of clones dispersed, he could not get a full picture of the Eternal Emperor's tomb. Even if millions of clones searched in this fog, they would not be able to see it. It's just like finding a needle in a haystack. For half a month, he and his clone had seen nothing except the fog. Even he was a little doubtful whether his method of detection was really useful. But at this time, one of his clones suddenly discovered something was going on in a place. It was the shadow of a tomb, hidden deep in the fog, and was discovered by a clone. Wu Yu immediately told the clone to stop moving forward, and then headed straight in the direction of the clone. The distance between the two sides is a bit far. Wu Yu is moving at full speed and it will take several days to reach there. Moreover, it is very foggy. Although there is no danger when the clone passes by, no one can guarantee that Wu Yu will not be in danger when he passes by. It is possible that this layer of fog will only produce an illusory and confusing effect on the body of the creature, and may not be effective on the clone. However, after a few days, Wu Yu's body still successfully reached the location of the clone. During this period of time, Wu Yu asked all the nearby clones to come over and survey the situation nearby. He found that there was no danger nearby. Through the fog from a distance, he could vaguely see the tomb, which seemed to be the Wusheng Emperor. Tomb. This was the first tomb he saw after descending into the mist, so he naturally paid great attention to it. He first asked the clone to get close to the tomb to check whether there was any danger around the tomb. After all, this place was too weird. It was not easy to find a tomb, and the possibility of traps around it was definitely not small. But when he let the clone get closer, Wu Yu only saw a flash of silver light and countless wind blades whizzing from around the tomb, cutting the clone into pieces. This is the storm silver blade ball. It looks very familiar. Wu Yu saw the flash of silver light and the scene of countless wind blades cutting, and he suddenly remembered the previous scene. That was what they encountered on the Taixu Immortal Road when they were fighting for the 10th grade Immortal King Seal after going to hell. This storm silver blade ball was one of the Eridivine arrays personally arranged by the Jade Emperor at that time. The Eridivine formation is the highest level Taixu Immortal formation. When Wu Yu was in hell at that time, he could not resist the storm silver blade ball for a while, and he would almost certainly die if he fell into it. But now, he can give it a try. Although he is not very sure, he can at least withdraw before danger. So Wu Yu asked all the clones to stay outside, and he gradually approached the tomb of the Wuxian emperor. This time the storm silver blade ball seems to be much more violent. Wu Yu thought that when he was in hell, the era god formation was still relatively gentle, but this time, as soon as he stepped into the closer range, the countless silver wind blades attacked fiercely, and continued to attack his body. Cut. Even though he has cultivated the immortal Vajra immortal realm and has an indestructible body, he is still a little unable to withstand the cutting of these silver wind blades. He can't hold on even after 10 miles deep, so he can only temporarily withdraw from the Wuxian emperor. The scope of the tomb. After he retreated far away, the storm silver blade ball stopped attacking him, but he had no way to get close to the tomb of the Wuxian emperor. This made him frown, and he couldn't think of any good solution for a while. No matter what, he could only take a rest first. This storm silver blade ball caused him to be seriously injured, so he had to take a rest. But at this moment, his clone who stayed outside suddenly received news that someone else was approaching. Heaven Swallowing Record. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1608. Wu Yu immediately paid attention and found that the person approaching outside was the demon emperor of heaven. His body was the superstar of heaven, which was a giant star. It was emitting purple starlight from the fog and approached here. Apparently, he also discovered the power of Emperor Wu Sheng. The existence of the tomb. Moreover, at the same time that Wu Yu's clone discovered the other party also discovered Wu Yu's clone. It's you. The king superstar immediately snorted coldly and was about to take action, but he soon discovered that there didn't seem to be only one Wu Yu nearby, there were many Wu Yus with exactly the same appearance around. So he knew that these were just Wu Yu's clones. But even if it was a clone, he did not intend to give up. The bright purple star body burst out purple sword energy directly towards Wu Yu's clone, and soon the clones near Wu Yu were completely dissipated under the opponent's attack. Soon, the other party came to Wu Yu who was recovering from his injuries. Seeing Wu Yu's current state, the other party knew that Wu Yu was injured. Ha ha ha, I didn't expect you to be injured here, why don't you take your life quickly? The king of superstars was in a good mood, so he released terrifying power towards Wu Yu, and took action with the Star Sword Prison heavenly rules, and countless purple sword energy burst out, raining down from the sky, attacking from all directions. It is impossible for Wu Yu to confront the opponent head-on now. This Star Sword Prison rule is a very powerful method for the Uranus superstar. Even Wu Yu in his prime state may be injured by the opponent's power of the rule, let alone he was now injured by the storm silver blade ball, and his defense dropped significantly. So he used somersault clouds to slip away from the opponent's countless purple sword energy circles and disappeared from the field in an instant. The most important thing is that as soon as he disappeared, the Star Sword Prison sky rules that were originally aimed at him rushed into the era god formation of the storm silver blade ball. The Heavenly King and Demon Emperor had no time to even control it, and they saw countless purple sword energy rushed into it, and then caused the entire storm silver blade ball's era god formation to riot. Countless silver wind blades rushed out and enveloped the King of Heaven superstar, constantly harvesting and attacking it. The body of the bright purple star was punctured with countless wounds almost in an instant. Obviously, even if the Heavenly King superstar is in the realm of the 9 Heavenly Demon King, it is impossible to break through the era divine formation of the storm silver blade ball and get close to the tomb of the Wuxian emperor. He was seriously injured by the infinite wind blade and immediately fled in confusion, quickly disappearing into the mist. Even if Wu Yu wanted to catch up, he couldn't catch up, so he could only give up the pursuit and continue to stay near the tomb of the Wuxian emperor to study the situation of the era divine formation. What Wu Yu was thinking about now was why the Wusheng emperor was protected by the era divine formation. Could it be that this era divine formation was arranged by the Jade Emperor himself? After all, when he was snatching the 10th grade Immortal King seal in Hell, the Jade Emperor had already deployed this era god array. It was just that the era god array in front of him was even more violent. At that time, the storm silver blade ball and the like were relatively mild. If the era divine formation here was really arranged by the Jade Emperor, then what is the connection between the Eternal Emperor's burial and the Jade Emperor? Wu Yu couldn't guess now. Just like the situation in the entire Immortal Emperor's tomb, it was so foggy that many things were impossible to guess. He could only continue to study the tomb of Emperor Wuxian nearby, and tried to get closer twice, but was unable to break through the era divine array and the guardian of the storm silver blade ball. With his current strength, it was impossible to enter Emperor Wuxian in the tomb. Just a month later, when he tried to enter for the third time, the entire tomb of the Wuxian Emperor and the storm silver blade disappeared silently in front of him. This made Wu Yu slightly startled, and he was suddenly dumbfounded. How could this fine Emperor Demon tomb suddenly disappear? Could it be that the tomb of the Wuxian Emperor here before was just an illusion, or that the Emperor Demon tomb in the Immortal Emperor's tomb is constantly changing its position? If it were an illusion, it would be difficult to explain the problem of the era god array. If it is true that these Emperor Demon tombs are constantly changing positions, then it is obviously more difficult to open these Emperor Demon tombs than he imagined. Wu Yu did not leave for the time being, but was thinking about the possibilities behind this situation. But at this time, what he didn't expect was that the Uranus superstar, who had fled in embarrassment before, was back. Not only was he back, but this time he also brought the Supreme Lava Beast and 2 demon emperors in the realm of 9 Heavenly Demon King to come here at the same time. The Heavenly King Demon Emperor and the Supreme Demon Emperor, the former has completely recovered from his previous injuries. Now that he is teamed up with the Supreme Demon Emperor, Wu Yu is definitely no match. The other party came here together and saw that the tomb of the Wuxian Emperor had disappeared, and they immediately became suspicious. Superstar Heavenly King suddenly said in a deep voice, "Damn it, we were a step late, and the Emperor Demon's tomb disappeared. This kid must have broken through it and taken away the Emperor Demon's corpse." The Supreme Lava Beast, of course, would not doubt the words of the King Superstar. After such a long time, they could still see Wu Yu when they came over, which undoubtedly proved that the tomb of the Emperor Demon in this place should not have been taken away for a long time. So the 2 demon emperors immediately joined forces and surrounded Wu Yu to take action. Even if they knew that Wu Yu had a clever escape method, they might not be able to keep Wu Yu, but for the sake of the Emperor Demon's tomb, they couldn't let Wu Yu go and tried their best to surround and kill him. The Star Sword Prison Sky Rules erupted again, and countless purple sword energy emerged from the mist, pouring towards Wu Yu's location. After the Supreme Lava Beast roared, a forged sky rule suddenly swept out, and a flaming sky pillar descended from the sky and crashed towards Wu Yu. The 2 teamed up to attack Wu Yu. It was impossible for Wu Yu to confront him head-on. He could only avoid the sharp edge temporarily. However, he did not escape with somersault clouds. Instead, he used the magic of heaven and earth to shrink his body and increase his speed to the ultimate, instantly escaping from the opponent's circle. Just when Wu Yu was about to leave, the Supreme Lava Beast suddenly snorted coldly, "Boy, do you dare to leave? If you leave now, your fellow dragons will die, and we, the Eternal Demon Emperor, the Eternal Demon Emperor, and the Endless Demon Emperor will die. The Demon Emperor has already captured the dragon and is about to find you." When Wu Yu heard the news, he couldn't help but frown, not knowing whether what the other party said was true or false. The Demon King of Heaven then sneered, "Yes, if you just leave like this, your dragon companion will suffer endless torture. Can you bear to see him tortured to death by us because of you?" The 2 demon emperors spoke out one after another, which was a big threat to Wu Yu. If what the other party said is true, then Wu Jun is obviously in a bad situation now and needs his help. Otherwise, Wu Jun is likely to be tortured to death as they said. No matter what, now that he hasn't seen Wu Jun for a long time, what the other party said is still possible. Therefore, Wu Yu couldn't take risks. He had to at least follow the opponent to make sure. Anyway, as long as he was a little farther away from the opponent couldn't do anything to him. If the opponent wanted to make a sneak attack, he could immediately use somersault cloud to escape. If what they said is true, then the scene where Wu Jun was killed must have been an illusion. This was good news for Wu Yu. He clearly remembered the anger, unwillingness, and self-blame that emerged in his heart when he saw Wu Jun being killed. If Wu Jun hadn't died, everything would have been fine. So Wu Yu thought for a moment, then said in a deep voice to the Heavenly King Superstar and the Supreme Lava Beast, "Then you lead the way. You want the bronze little door pendant, right? That's natural, but after such a long time, we may not be able to find where the three of them are," the Supreme Lava Beast said in a muffled voice. "I can only tell you the general direction." Superstar Uranus said immediately and pointed in one direction. Wu Yu glanced at that direction and snorted coldly. In this case, there was no need for him to act together with the other two. With his clone, if he knew the direction, he would definitely be able to find it faster than the other party. I thought that the other party knew where Wu Jun was now, but it turned out to be in vain. However, Wu Yu knew that he had to be faster now. If he found Wu Jun later, Wu Jun would be more likely to be in danger. He directly released 1,000,000 clones and spread them around, while his main body left that place in a somersault cloud and approached in the direction mentioned by the King of Superstars. The King Superstar and the Supreme Lava Beast were stunned for a moment when they saw Wu Yu leaving alone. But then, the King Superstar sneered, "It doesn't matter, even if the two of us are not here, they can't get any advantage from the three of them, the Eternal Demon Emperor. By the time we find them, the key must already be in our hands." The Supreme Lava Beast nodded its huge lava head, and then disappeared into the mist together with the Uranus Superstar. A few days later, Wu Yu tried his best to search for traces of Wu Jun and the other three demon kings. Finally, 3 days later, one of the clones discovered their location. At this moment, Wu Jun has indeed been controlled by the three opponents. The thick branches of the Eternal World Tree have completely trapped Wu Jun in the mist. The ancient immortal spirit dragon's body is half trapped by the golden metal. The other half was frozen by the ice of the endless nether sea, and the whole person was in extreme pain. Wu Yu's clone appeared and directly attracted the attention of the three demon emperors next to him. The Endless Demon Emperor, the Eternal Demon Emperor and the Eternal Demon Emperor all looked at the clone and snorted coldly, "We can finally have a good negotiation and hand over your bronze pendant, otherwise this dragon's life will be at stake." The three demon emperors teamed up to trap Wu Jun. This situation was quite serious for Wu Yu, but there was absolutely no way he would let anything happen to Wu Jun. Therefore, this negotiation is imperative. It is a pity to throw away the bronze pendant, but Wu Jun cannot die. So Wu Yu asked the clone to start negotiating with the other party, stabilizing the other party for the time being, and then the main body quickly moved towards this direction. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Heaven Swallowing Record. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1609. Wu Yu's clone temporarily confronted the three of the Endless Demon Emperor. Did you hear that? Hand over the bronze pendant, otherwise your dragon companion will die, and even have to endure unimaginable torture before death. Don't doubt our methods. The Eternal Demon Emperor was shining with brilliant gold. This eternal golden mountain was more conspicuous than other demon emperors in the mist. He threatened Wu Yu with a clear voice. At the same time, Wu Yu's clone saw that the half of Wu Jun's body covered with metal seemed to flow, melting his body of the ancient fairy dragon. Needless to say, Wu Jun was in great pain during this process. The Eternal Demon Emperor could control metal. This torture method was like putting a person into a boiling metal liquid and pouring it on him. The unimaginable high temperature was unbearable even for Wu Jun, who was at the 9 heavens immortal king level, and he wailed in pain. Wu Yu's eyes were bloodshot. Stop! His clone roared, but it was just a clone and could not help Wu Jun at all. He could only watch him being tortured by the other party. And then, Endless Nether Sea also sneered, look carefully, this is your dragon companion. If you want him to live, hand over the bronze pendant. We don't want to say it again. The ice covering half of Wu Jun's body continued to condense into piercing ice cones at this time, carrying infinite cold air, penetrating deep into Wu Jun's body, and even freezing his flesh and bones. The piercing coldness almost made Wu Jun lose consciousness. At this moment, Wu Jun was controlled by the Eternal World Tree. Endless dark green vines entangled him and made him completely unable to move. The three of Endless Demon Emperor could do whatever they wanted to him. It was almost impossible for Wu Jun to escape with his own strength. Seeing Wu Jun being tortured in front of him, Wu Yu's anger almost burst out of his eyes, and his clone immediately roared, "Stop it, or you won't get the bronze pendant." After he roared like this, the other party restrained himself and only stopped torturing Wu Jun temporarily, but it was impossible for him to be released. The Eternal Demon Emperor said coldly, "Then hand over the bronze pendant in your hand. If you hand over the bronze pendant, we will release him, which is beneficial to both of us. This is just my clone. I will exchange it with you when my real body arrives here." Wu Yu's clone has now regained his composure, as long as the other party stops torturing Wu Jun. However, the transaction method still needs to be discussed by both parties. I have a total of 2 bronze pendants. If I give them all to you at once, what if you don't release him? I don't believe you. Wu Yu knew that it was impossible to let the other party release him first. After all, his escape method was obvious to all, and it was impossible for him to save him and run away. So, he had to hand over the bronze pendant first. But if the other party regrets, Wu Yu has no way to deal with it. This must be made clear in advance. What do you say? The Endless Demon Emperor was very indifferent, with a cold aura all over his body, and asked Wu Yu back. I will give you one of the bronze pendants first, and then you let the person go. Finally, I will give you the last one. Do you agree? Wu Yu asked his clone. This is the only feasible way to exchange. If any other way is changed, one of the parties will definitely not accept it. So the 3 demon emperors of the other side got together, discussed for a while, and then nodded and agreed, then your original body will come quickly. However, we only believe you this time. If you cheat this time, we will not give you a chance next time if such a situation occurs again. They also knew that it was unrealistic to ask Wu Yu to give out 2 bronze pendants at a time, so they could only threaten him in this way. After all, if they continue to move in this Eternal Emperor's tomb, who can guarantee that such a thing will not happen again in the future? If Wu Yu played tricks, gave a pendant, and took Wu Jun away, then Wu Yu had to consider what would happen if Wu Jun fell into the hands of the other party again. Of course, Wu Yu finally reunited with Wu Jun this time, and it was impossible to separate from him easily. In this fog, he must always be careful. It was too dangerous to leave Wu Jun alone. It's a deal. Wu Yu's clone agreed, and then the main body rushed here as fast as possible. 3 days later, his main body finally arrived and saw Wu Jun surrounded by 3 demon emperors. The body of the ancient fairy dragon was now tortured very miserably, which made Wu Yu very angry. Now he could only hide this anger, and once he got the opportunity to kill these demon emperors in the future, Wu Yu would never be merciful. I'm here, who will take the bronze pendant? Let's make it clear first, only one person can come. Wu Yu was still some distance away from the other party, and he spoke first, asking the other party to choose someone to take the bronze pendant. This is a gamble. Both sides do not trust each other. Everyone wants to get the pair of bronze pendants. For Wu Yu, although Wu Jun is more important, he will definitely not hand over the bronze pendants if he can avoid it. The three opponents have obviously thought about it. The first bronze pendant will be collected by Wang Jinshan. In the thick fog, both sides are very cautious. In the absence of trust, every step must be taken carefully, otherwise it is easy to fall into a situation of no return. The eternal golden mountain was shining with golden light, and its huge body soon came to Wu Yu, and a clear voice came out, "Hand over the pendant." This chapter is not over yet, please click on the next page to continue reading. Wu Yu carefully took out one of the pendants. He was observing the movements and breath of the eternal golden mountain. Once the other party showed a tendency to take action, Wu Yu would immediately escape. Although Wu Jun was still here, he could still negotiate if he could escape. If both of them fell into the hands of the other party, there would be no way to survive. Fortunately, the eternal golden mountain had no intention of taking action against him for the time being. After taking the bronze pendant, he retreated. The eternal golden mountain got a bronze pendant, and his expression was a little happy. After confirming that Wu Yu was not playing tricks, he asked the next endless nether sea to come forward and collect the pendant from Wu Yu. Soon, the endless nether sea came to Wu Yu with a cold and chilly breath. "You are very sensible, but I hope you will continue to be sensible and hand over the second bronze pendant," the endless demon emperor said in a cold tone. "You have to let my friend go first." Wu Yu was not in a hurry, always observing the actions of the endless demon emperor, and then said calmly, "One bronze pendant is useless. Two must be put together to open the emperor demon tomb in this place. As long as you let my friend go, the opportunity to open the emperor demon tomb will be given to you." He was completely lying, but the other party didn't know it, and thought that Wu Yu had already opened the emperor demon tomb. Suddenly, the three demon emperors' heartbeats accelerated. For a while, the mood of the three demon emperors was a little excited. Some time ago, they heard that the superstar king encountered an emperor demon tomb, but he was unable to open it at that time. I don't know what happened later. Could it be opened by the immortal boy in front of them? They had to think so. Once they could open the emperor demon tomb, it would be very likely for them to step into the realm of the immortal emperor demon. This is a huge breakthrough, which is very tempting to each of them. Unfortunately, they don't know that Wu Yu is just talking nonsense. And it is because of Wu Yu's words that the other party's mind is a little unfocused for a while. Originally, the other party might not let Wu Jun go in exchange for the second pendant. But after Wu Yu said this, the Eternal World Tree wanted to get the second pendant directly, and as for Wu Jun, it was too lazy to care. Anyway, the ancient fairy dragon is dying now, and even if he is released, he may not be able to run far. As long as you keep an eye on the ancient fairy dragon, the other party will never dare not hand over the second bronze pendant. So, the Eternal World Tree discussed with the Endless Demon Emperor and the Eternal Demon Emperor, and then decided to let Wu Jun go. At this moment, Wu Jun was still dying, and it seemed that he would not be able to escape even if he was released. When the countless dark green vines were loosened, the ancient fairy dragon suddenly burst out with endless power of the heavenly rules and fled in the direction of Wu Yu. This sudden outburst startled the three demon emperors on the other side. When they reacted, Wu Jun had already come to Wu Yu's side. In this way, it was obvious what Wu Yu would do. The second bronze pendant would never be handed over to the other party, even if the other party had threatened before. He quickly put away the second bronze pendant, and then took Wu Jun with him, and quickly performed the somersault cloud, and left the area with a somersault. Endless Nether Sea wanted to chase, but was intercepted by Wu Yu's clones around him. The infinite clones and the rules of heaven gathered at this moment, and the terrifying power descended on the Endless Nether Sea. Endless Demon Emperor was forced to retreat in an instant. When he reacted, Wu Yu had already taken Wu Jun away from him, and he roared, "Stinky boy, next time we meet, I will tear you into pieces, there will be no luck." Originally, they wanted to take this opportunity to get 2 bronze pendants, but now, they only got one of them. Although the fact may not be as Wu Yu said, the two pendants must be combined to be useful, but the ending is not beautiful after all. The three demon emperors quickly gathered together and discussed that if they caught Wu Jun again in the future, they would never trust Wu Yu easily. Wu Yu took Wu Jun and quickly fled to a safer place in the fog, and then began to heal his wounds. Although Wu Jun had just burst out with strength and escaped to Wu Yu's side, his meridians were damaged and his injuries were extremely serious. He had to rest well. Wu Yu, I'm so sorry. I was trapped by accident and you lost a bronze pendant. Wu Jun was particularly self-blaming now. Not only was he tortured by the demon emperors, but he was also in pain in his heart. It doesn't matter. You came here with me. You must not get into trouble here, otherwise I will be uneasy. It's just a pendant that's missing. I still have one on me. At most, I can snatch it back when the time comes. Wu Yu laughed and looked more open-minded. Seeing Wu Yu's mentality, Wu Jun was relieved and thought to himself that he had not misjudged Wu Yu. Heaven Swallowing Record. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1610. Wu Yu lost a bronze door pendant this time, but he saved Wu Jun. Although he was seriously injured, he was not seriously injured. He can recover completely after a period of rest. Of course, this period of time may last for several years. It is okay outside at ordinary times, but in this eternal emperor burial, some significant changes may occur in a few years. I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow. Anyway, the 5 demon emperors should not be able to make any breakthroughs for the time being, so let's rest well first, Wu Yu said while gathering most of the millions of clones back, leaving only a small part near himself to be responsible for alerting the surrounding situation. Once there is any danger approaching, Wu Yu can find it in the first time. As for Wu Jun, he began to recuperate and could not move around for at least a few years. Wu Yu guarded beside him, chatting with everyone in the floating life tower, and made some guesses about the existence of the eternal emperor burial. Nanshan Wanjiao's mind is still the most active. He is proficient in illusions. Now the fog in the eternal emperor's burial makes him feel like he has seen a prey. From this fog, he can even comprehend some Tao, which makes him more advanced in illusions. Nanshan Wanjiao believes that there may be no treasures in the eternal emperor's burial. It is just a place to bury these eternal emperor demons. However, the tombs and corpses of these eternal emperor demons are also top treasures for people like Wu Yu. If an immortal who has reached the level of eternal emperor demon comes here, he may get nothing. It is not clear now who built this eternal emperor's burial. The person who built this eternal emperor's burial must have something to do with the destruction of the demon god realm, Nanshan Wanjiao said firmly. Yezixi also guessed, could it be the Jade Emperor? The storm silver blade ball I saw before is exactly the same as the one I saw in hell before. It's not certain now that it's the Jade Emperor. After all, the top immortal emperors must know a little about the epic god formation. However, if it's really the Jade Emperor who participated in this matter, buried these immortal emperor demons, or even destroyed the demon god world, then the secret buried here is terrifying. Wu Yu felt a little creepy when he thought about it casually. The Jade Emperor personally participated in the destruction of the demon god world. It's scary to think about it. What exactly did he do this for? Of course, it's not certain now that it's him, but apart from the Jade Emperor, there are only a handful of immortals and ghosts in the entire heaven and hell who can destroy the demon god world. Or is it that the demon god world was destroyed because of the internal fighting among the people in the demon god world? But if that were the case, it wouldn't have resulted in the last eternal emperor demon in the demon god realm being wiped out. The mysteries, like the fog around him, enveloped Wu Yu. At this moment, he couldn't see the truth at all. It can only be said that this eternal emperor burial is an important clue to the destruction of the demon god realm. If the secrets in this eternal emperor burial can be explored, perhaps the truth of the year can be known. Wu Jun continued to recuperate and Wu Yu would sometimes help him so that he could recover faster. 10 years had finally passed. During this period, Wu Yu hadn't seen anyone else approach this remote area. The place he found was relatively hidden. Finally fully recovered, Wu Yu, let's go. I'm really a burden to you. Wu Jun felt a little sorry. He also knew that time was tight, but he had wasted 10 years because of his healing. Maybe the 5 demon emperors had already achieved a lot. Uncle Wu, don't worry. Wu Yu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Wu Jun was so polite to him that he felt a little embarrassed. As Wu Jun finished healing, Wu Yu released millions of clones and spread out to look for the traces of the 5 demon emperors. Originally, he thought that after such a long time, the other party must have run to a relatively far place, and it might not be found for a while. But Wu Yu did not expect that after only more than 10 days, his clones detected movement in the fog ahead. Follow me. Wu Yu hurriedly moved in the direction of the clone, and at the same time asked the clone to pay attention to hiding and observe the situation secretly. Because the movement was a bit loud, Wu Yu's clone did not dare to appear for a while, so he did not know what was going on there. Only after Wu Yu and Wu Jun arrived did they find that the 5 demon emperors were gathered together in the fog ahead, and the most terrifying thing was that there were a total of 10 huge demon emperors looming in the fog. The Eternal Demon Emperor, the Endless Demon Emperor, the Eternal Demon Emperor, the Heavenly King Demon Emperor and the Supreme Demon Emperor. Each of the 5 demon emperors actually had 2. There were 10 demon emperors in total, confronting each other in this area. No wonder there was such a big commotion. The 5 demon emperors, one is real and the other is fake, right? Wu Jun also saw this scene, and while he was shocked, he immediately made a guess. Yes, Wu Yu nodded. At this time, he had used his fire eyes and golden pupils to see that 5 of the 10 demon emperors on the other side were fake. Through the fire eyes and golden pupils, the 5 fake demon emperors were covered with fog and could not be seen clearly at all. The 10 real and fake demon emperors gathered together, so the scene was very chaotic now. No one on the other side could tell the real and fake of the other demon emperors. Everyone became insecure and basically only believed in themselves and no one else. This chaotic situation was somewhat beneficial to Wu Yu. Anyway, now Wu Yu only wants to get back his small bronze door pendant. It is not yet clear whose body the pendant belongs to, but this chaotic situation will obviously make it easier for Wu Yu to succeed. This chapter is not finished yet. Please click on the next page to continue reading the exciting content. This foggy space is too mysterious, and there is currently no other way to break through it. However, Wu Yu can be sure that the 2 bronze pendants are useful, so if you have the opportunity to take them back, you must not miss it. Let's take a look at the situation first. Wu Yu explained to Wu Jun, pointed out the 5 fake demon emperors, and then did not appear, but observed from the side. Of course he would not stand up and point out to the demon emperors which 5 were fake demon emperors, and even if he told them, they might not believe them. There was chaos in the place, mainly because of the 5 fake demon emperors, who kept stirring up trouble, stirring up dissension, inciting hatred, and stirring up trouble. My endless netherworld sea must be real. The so-called endless demon emperor across the way, do you know that there was a common secret between you and the Supreme Demon Emperor? If you can't tell it, it's a lie. In Wu Yu's eyes, the fake Endless Sea of Netherworld actually attacked the real Endless Sea of Netherworld. He said that he had a common secret with the Supreme Demon Emperor, which made the real Supreme Lava Behemoth on the side a little suspicious. At the same time, somewhat certain. He really has a secret with the Supreme Demon Emperor. That is that they once discovered the corpse of the Emperor Demon in the depths of the void crack in the Demon God realm. Unfortunately, when he wanted to collect it later, the void crack completely collapsed, resulting in the corpse of the Emperor Demon. It just disappeared. He has never told the secret before. Now, the Endless Sea of Netherworld has revealed the secret. It seems to be true without a doubt. The real Supreme Demon Emperor thought this way, and immediately believed in the fake endless sea of netherworld, and began to attack the real infinite demon emperor. In this case, you are a fake, you should die. It is difficult to distinguish between true and false, especially under the deliberate instigation of the 5 fake demon emperors. The 5 real demon emperors have lost trust in each other, and even doubted each other, and even reached the point of fighting. The supreme demon emperor is attacking the endless netherworld sea. On the other side, due to the instigation of the fake demon emperor, the Uranus superstar and the eternal world tree are attacking the real eternal golden mountain. Even the fake Uranus superstar and the eternal world tree are taking action against the eternal golden mountain. Suddenly, the endless netherworld sea and the eternal golden mountain were targeted, and almost all the other demon emperors in the audience, whether real or fake, were attacking them. The 2 demon emperors immediately shouted, "We are real. Otherwise, how could those fake ones also come to attack us?" It's a pity that other demon emperors didn't believe their shouts at all. The fake demon emperors had previously instigated and created chaos, creating the illusion that they were fake. 8 against 2, it didn't take long for the eternal demon emperor and the endless demon emperor to be severely damaged one after another. Not only that, in the chaos, the other 3 true demon emperors who participated in the siege are not in good condition now, and the situation of the 5 demon emperors is extremely troublesome. Wu Yu and Wu Jun continued to hide in the fog on the side, watching the situation secretly. Not long after, the endless nether sea was hit hard again. At this time, he couldn't care about anything else. In order to save his life, he could only struggle to escape from here, and soon disappeared into the surrounding fog. At this time, the other 4 real demon emperors were not in very good condition, especially the eternal golden mountain, which was only slightly better than the endless netherworld sea. So they all wanted to retreat. There was no doubt that there was no point in continuing to fight like this. They would probably be consumed in the chaos. However, they still remembered the bronze pendant, so they didn't want to be separated like this. It seems that they took turns keeping the bronze pendant and banned it. Only when the 5 demon emperors gathered together could they lift the ban and use the bronze pendant. So they want to escape from here, but they don't want to leave so easily. The current situation of the 5 demon emperors is almost a dilemma. These fake demon emperors appearing in the fog are really troublesome for them. However, they have no way to tell whether the other is real or fake. They can only tell the difference with a few words. The truth of the other party. Now that the endless nether sea had escaped, they calmed down a little and began to think of next steps. Wu Yu was hiding aside, constantly guessing who was wearing the bronze pendant. But before he could see any results or take any action, another Wu Yu and Wu Jun appeared from another direction.